speakers out there when it comes to his charisma, especially when he does speak in front of an audience. Not the greatest of speakers, but definitely he was making a very important point on combating the ivory trade, and of course it was for a good cause. Now, drawing your attention to other political leaders worldwide, police in the tropical Indian Ocean resort archipelago of the Maldives arrested former President Mohammad Nasheed 10 days after he left the Indian High Commission, where he had taken refuge to avoid detention. A court had ordered police to arrest Nasheed after he missed a February 10th court appearance in a case relating to accusations that he illegally detained a judge during the last days of his rule. Nasheed, the Maldives' first democratically elected leader, left office last year in contested circumstances. He entered the Indian High Commission on February 13th and left 10 days later on the understanding that he would be able to conduct peaceful political activity. His supporters say he was ousted last February in a coup in the Maldives, a major tourist destination. They have clashed with police outside the diplomatic mission. If Nasheed is found guilty in the case, he could be barred from standing in a presidential election on September 7th. His party says the trial is an attempt to exclude him from the contest and has challenged the court's legitimacy. And also we've got one more story on another political leader, unfortunately, who passed away quite recently, and I'm talking about the Venezuelan president and controversial leader Hugo Chavez. Died Tuesday after a long battle with cancer, according to an announcement by the Venezuelan government. Now, Chavez, 58, was very active on Twitter. Now, his official account has more than 4 million followers, and he used to tweet regularly before the last few months of his life. His very last tweet, sent on February 18th, a Twitter hiatus of almost 3 months, was a hopeful one, and this was what the tweet said: "I'm still clinging to Christ and I trust my doctors and nurses. Onward to victory. We will live and we will win." Of course, he tweeted it in Spanish, but this was the English translation, the official English translation, which was released. And Chavez, who had been at the helm of South American country for 14 years, was internationally known for his socialist views, his popularism, and his exuberant persona. He was often devised and critical towards the United States in particular. He used to call President George W. Bush Mr. Danger or drunk, and he also called President Obama a clown. Even on Twitter, Chavez often distinguished himself from other international leaders with his unbiased messages, hailing the socialist revolution and himself. So just a little bit about political leaders right over there. Now, we've got a little story about how the police in Rio occupy slums to drive out drug gangs. Check it out.
Brazilian police and soldiers, backed by helicopters and armored vehicles, occupied Rio de Janeiro slums in the early hours on Sunday in a bid to improve security and end the raid of drug gangs in the South American city. The operations to pacify slums, in this instance those in northern Rio de Janeiro near the city's international airport, are a crucial part of Rio's preparations to host soccer's World Cup in 2014 and the 2016 Summer Olympics. Sunday's operation, which began at 5 a.m. local time, involved some 1,600 soldiers and police officers backed at least by 17 tanks and helicopters. With helicopters studding overhead, soldiers and police began climbing the slum's winding roads just after 5:30 a.m. and declared the operation a success within 25 minutes after encountering no resistance. A resident of the slums, who did not give his name for security reasons, told Brazil's TV that he hoped the operation would reduce crime. Under a so-called pacification program, Rio's authorities are following up invasions by handing slums over to specially trained community police and providing services such as health centers and formal electricity and TV supply. The aim is to foster social inclusion and give the city's 1 million or more slum residents a bigger stake in Brazil's robust economy. The importance of this action today is really to boost the self-esteem of the population, which has been lost over the years because of crime, the presence of drugs and arms in the area. Today we are doing more than pacifying, we are performing a rescue for these people and their self-esteem, said Major Ivan Blaise of the Special Police Operations Battalion. Once the operation was over, police raised the Brazilian flag and the flag of state of Rio de Janeiro inside the slum to show that they were now in control of the area. Police said they made several arrests and seized weapons and drugs during Sunday's raid.
And of course, yes, that's a little bit about Rio, and of course, I mean, what you see in the movies, looking at that video, of course, seems a little true. South America is definitely associated with a lot of drug dealings down that area. But of course, during the recent past, we have found a lot of news where the authorities are trying to really do something about it. But of course, in South America, the drug gangs are so advanced that it is not really very easy for an authority to really crack down these deals, especially because some of these drug cartels, they do act like terrorists. We're going to go in for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing some more interesting things, so stay tuned and be right here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. You are with me, Vasam Ismail, on a beautiful Thursday morning, which is the 7th of March. And you are watching Good Morning Sri Lanka here on MTV Sports. Now, something kind of strange happened yesterday in Bulat Kohupitiya, where 40 students, including the principal of the Welgalla Primary School, have been admitted to the Karavanella Hospital following a wasp attack yesterday. Now, police say the attack took place at around 7 in the morning, and shortly after the students arrived at the school. Quite not something you would actually hear every day, but definitely kind of disturbs me just to hear about it. But I just hope those kids are okay and they are receiving treatment, and I sincerely hope that they get better soon. Now, we're going to show you something which is an incident that took place in India. Of course, there's a lot of attention globally that has been drawing towards India lately after the whole gang rape incident and all that. And of course, the news I'm about to share with you is not very pleasant as well. It's actually about how a few kids got kidnapped and they were held at ransom, and because they did not get the ransom, the children unfortunately were killed. Have a look at this.
Police in Delhi arrested 3 men in connection with the killing of 2 young children on Sunday. The children were abducted on Tuesday and murdered on the same day, police said. The victims, aged 5 and 7, were brother and sister, and the bodies were found near the railway tracks near Pragati Maidan on Sunday. The Deputy Commissioner of Police for East District Delhi said at a news conference on Sunday that the 2 children were abducted from outside the school after their mother was late to collect them. Prabhakar added that during the interrogation, the accused confessed to abducting and killing the 2 children. One of the arrested men, 22-year-old Amit Singh, was a maternal uncle of the children. The other 2 accused are Shivam Gupta and Pankaj Kashyap, both aged 19. The father of the children had received ransom calls, and he was asked to pay 30 lakhs if he wanted his children to be released safely. Prabhakar briefed the reporters about the charges under which the accused would be booked. The police believed that the accused were all motivated by financial problems and were struggling with debts. On the day of the abduction, the children's mother was locked inside her house and was unable to meet her children at their school. The police have stated that the siblings were led away from the Mother Convent School in East Delhi by Amit Singh. Witnesses have said they heard the children refer to their abductor as uncle. The accused had arranged to take the children to a nearby park, from where they called the father to demand a ransom. The men alleged they tried to strangle the sister in the park, after it became apparent that the ransom was not going to materialize immediately. They moved on to an area of forest near the banks of River Yamuna, where they killed both children and dumped their bodies.
Well, that's a little bit of sad news indeed. But of course, taking you to more happy news, Marvel fans out there would be pleased to know that the Iron Man production crew, they've actually released stating that the movie will be out on the 3rd of May. Now, of course, we initially had Iron Man 1, and then we had Iron Man 2, and then Iron Man did appear in the Avengers movie. And of course, out of all the superheroes and out of all the polls that were stated globally, everybody said that Iron Man was their favorite superhero. And just after the Avengers, of course, a lot more buzz has been driven through to the Iron Man 3 movie, and of course they did release a little trailer about 5 months ago, but later on Tuesday they did release the second version of the Iron Man trailer, and it looks like fans are in store for a whole lot of superhero action. The preview gives us a glimpse at Tony Stark and his entire army of high-tech help. Of course, now only Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., gets the iconic red and gold outfitting rather, but the rest of his warriors have the same set of gadgets fans have grown accustomed to seeing on Iron Man. Now Iron Man 3, like I said, is set to be released on May 3rd, but of course we hope Marvel has a few more sneak previews to show us before the movie does get released. And next we have something where on the the very famous Argentinian grape festival, which attracted tens and thousands of tourists. Have a look at this.
The annual Grape Harvest Festival in Mendoza, Argentina, culminated with an evening party on Saturday, attracting tens of thousands of locals and tourists. Mendoza in West Argentina is known for its wine production. It is located in a region of foothills and plateaus. The Grape Harvest Festival in Mendoza is a world-renowned celebration of wine and the winemaking industry. The outdoor theatre for the ceremony can accommodate 19,000 spectators. However, the number is far from sufficient to meet the public demand. Thousands of people therefore opt for the hillside to enjoy the show. Lucas, a local resident, went to the nearby hills at noon and set up his VIP couch with tents and folding table for his family. The ceremony started at 10 o'clock. Spectacular music drama showcased the profundity of Mendoza's wine culture and history. The festival's organizers estimated that more than 72,000 visitors are expected to Mendoza. With some 135 million peso, tourism has become an important industry in Mendoza province, second only to agriculture.
Oh, welcome back. Well, that was a little bit about Argentina and the very famous grape festival that happens annually. Now, of course, early on in the show I did tell you that it is the big match season, and we at MTV Sports, we've got the big battles going on. Of course, we are going to air some of the famous matches, which is the Joe Pete and the Anthony's versus Trinity, and Kingswood Dharmaraja will be showing it live. And of course on the 9th, which is Saturday, we'll be showing you the first match, which is the 50 over of the Joe Pete. And of course, like I said, Joe Pete, they consider the 50 over the biggest match of the entire year. Now of course, I know a lot of you would like to go into the stadium and watch the match for yourselves and experience the whole atmosphere, but in case you are not able to, thanks to MTV Sports, you have another option. And of course, I'm sure you'll sit back, enjoy and relax and enjoy the show. And of course, it's coming up. I hope you sincerely enjoyed today's show. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up now, but of course we'll be back. I'll be back with you tomorrow on the 8th, which is a Friday morning. And of course, I'm sure you'll be more brightened up and cheered up because the weekend would be coming up right afterwards. Well, thank you very much for staying with the show. This is Good Morning Sri Lanka on MTV Sports, and I am Vasam Ismail. Goodbye.